the financial gains made by these companies must be shared with the American people, not just wealthy shareholders. In other words, all this amendment says is that if these companies want taxpayer assistance, we are not going to socialize all of the risks and privatize all of the profits. If these investments turn out to be profitable as a direct result of these federal grants, the taxpayers of this country have a right to get a return on this investment.
Part of a very deep and rich and competitive global market. And that is what supply and demand in that market determines the price of gas. The bill you're referencing is one, if I understand it correctly, calls it a windfall profit tax if our producers produce more fuel, more gas, and they'll be taxed on producing more, not raising the price.
So here's the breaking news. Hundreds of thousands of low-income residents in Massachusetts will soon be receiving $500 checks from the state of Massachusetts. The administration in the state unveiled new plans for distribution of the cash payments, and the payments worth around $250 million in total will be mailed to 500,000 people by the end of March. According to the state, this is the first round of funds being distributed as part of the $460 million program enacted last year. And last December, when Governor Charlie Baker signed a $4 billion spending plan for American Rescue Plan Act funds. The state is basing payment on filed 2020 Massachusetts tax returns, and people will be eligible for payments if their income from employment was at least $12,750, and their total income puts them below 300% of the federal poverty level. Now, the federal poverty level is set by the federal government and increases with household or family size. According to the state, the maximum total income for a single filer with no dependents will be around $38,280. An important note also, everybody, is that the state has said that people who received unemployment compensation in 2020 will not be eligible for the first round of payments. Also, executive branch employees who received or receive a one-time payment from the state as their employer are also not eligible. The state says information on plans to distribute subsequent rounds of funds after March will be released in the future. The legislation creating the premium pay program included $500 million for low-income essential workers. This $460 million program, everybody, comprises the majority of those funds, and $40 million was allocated to fund previous agreements with state employee unions. Virginia taxpayers will also likely get some money back this year. The General Assembly is expected to approve one-time rebates to eligible state income tax filers, but lawmakers are still debating how much. Unlike some tax policy proposals, the campaign promise from the governor has won broad bipartisan support. But the former governor proposed his own version of the plan with a smaller price tag before leaving office. Now, the IRS, everybody, has also issued more than 169 million payments in the third round of stimulus checks. The federal government is at risk of shutting down if lawmakers in Congress don't come to this agreement by February 18th. Top Democrats and Republicans are holding meetings very quickly to reach a deal on government funding in the fourth stimulus bill. So, please make sure to watch to the end of this video if you want to get the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. So, congressional negotiators are in danger of missing the February 18th deadline for passing a massive bill of the annual appropriations for fiscal year 2022. If an agreement is not reached soon, the federal government might shut down. A shutdown is likely, but members of the Senate Appropriations Committee from both parties warned that negotiators
and seeing concrete results that are efficient, effective, in the best interest of America's veterans. This is especially true when we discuss how to appropriately address toxic exposure, both on the healthcare side and the disability compensation side. I want to thank Chairman Tester and Ranking Member Bost for our work on the Healthcare for Burn Pits Veterans Act, and I look forward to working with all four corners on a solution that is in the best interest of all veterans. Commander Marshall's DAV's advocacy and partnership will